Kalimera, Kalispera, whatever time you're watching, this is Mappa. I'm Stel, as you know, but I've got a special guest here who you've clearly come to see, David Caneda. David, how you doing?
Hey, how are you, Stel?
I'm very good. I'm very good. I'm surprised you've wanted to do this podcast because you've coached 2 clubs in Cyprus, and you know the experiences can be a bit strange for some people.
Well, first of all, I'm really pleasure to be here with you. I appreciate that this calling, and we will see. It's a love situation to talk about Cyprus football because I love this football. I know something about this because as you say, I train 2 teams over there, and it's good to stay here.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Well, look, let's go straight into this, and I want to talk about your time at AEK. Now, my brain isn't as good as what it used to be, but did you join the club just before COVID hit? Because I think, was it Anorthosi? It was the last game of the season, and then the first game of the playoffs, and then COVID hit. Is that right?
You're right. You're right. This is amazing. Yeah. After a long period of time being assistant coach, was my first thing as a head coach. My debut was against Anorthosis, and I remember when we beat Anorthosis, Omonia relegate Anorthosis in the first position, and because one game left for finishing one game left because of the COVID, we play another game against Anorthosis again in their stadium. The first game we beat them, but the second game they beat us, but they lost the first position, and that's why Omonia won the title this year and play in Europe. No?
Yes. Thank you. That's an Omonia fan. Thank you.
This happened. It was amazing at that time. Omonia restart their way, because they spent a lot of time without doing anything in the league, and in this moment they compete because Anorthosis was in the first position, I think, during a lot of time, but they lose in the last moment, and this is the things happening in football, and that's why the football is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what do you remember about the conversation going to AEK? Because as you said, you spent a lot of time as an assistant coach, and all of a sudden AEK come calling. What was that like for you?
Well, I know many people involved in AEK before. One guy who is in charge of this as a sports director, named Murillo. I know him because he have a very friend of us in common. But when I was about to sign in AEK, Murillo was sacked. But at the end, what's a surprise, I signed again with another sport director, Arnal Conde. And for me, for the first time when I arrived to Cyprus, is was my first time, but with my body in Cyprus. But I feel like I know this place from before. I don't know why, because maybe I have a lot of information at that time about Cyprus football, because many reasons. And maybe this is the reason why I love the Cyprus football. I feel really comfortable over there.
Well, you came at a very difficult time. Obviously, the pandemic struck, and that must have been a major challenge. Because everyone I've spoken to, they said it was a difficult time. You couldn't leave your home. You had this, you had that, blah, blah. You just come to the club, and then March finished. And you don't know when the season's going to start. If the seasons are going to start, you don't know anything. Your training sessions gone because you can't do it. Everything was done on Zoom. So how can you describe that experience for you and for the team?
Well, it was surprise, not just for me, because it's just for all the people around. Because at that time, it was not a matter of football issues. It was a matter of health. That is the most important. And football in this moment was a secondary issue. But it's really strange when you are living in that situation involved in football, because many times, because it's a special special situation you don't know how to do. You start maybe many times invent many things, because what I know for sure that the football is to play football. Because when you are behind the scenes, you are doing many things, but the things you are doing maybe many times don't match with the things really important in football. That is play football games. But at that time, it's very difficult because you don't know, you didn't know how the competition is going to start again. And with these problems, with this schedule, you don't know how to do it really. But as I said, in football, it's not a matter to have the right environment to do whatever is in your head. That you find the situation in front of you, and you have to manage this situation in the right way, on the best way you know for doing it. But it was amazing because I remember this time like amazing time for me, because it was my first chance as a head coach. I really appreciate in this case from the people involved in it to trust me in order to manage the team. And that's why I'm very lovely for the people in AEK and for the people in Cyprus in general.
So you have the pandemic, the COVID situation, and you come across the whole summer, and then they announced when the season's going to begin. What were your preparations like going into the new season? Because effectively, you can't really have a pre-season, can you? Really? Because
Yeah,
it's strange because of the timing of when you joined the club. You had 2 games, and then the pandemic, and then all of the nonsense that happened. So how do you prepare for the season, knowing that you don't really have much to play with, if that makes sense?
oh, because many times in football, yeah, because you have to fill a lot of gaps that you have in front. Because when you are not playing the football, the real football game, you have many time to think about it. And in this case, it's like strange in order that because you don't know maybe how long time you need for the preparation, in this case, in the pre-season. But me as a coach personally, I let away this kind of things, because when you are passing for things like that, I like to focus in the really important. I remember that I focus a lot in the mentality of the players in terms of how the family is, how the son, the children's, because the football is aside at that time. Because football, you have to be really focused, because if not, you are close to get injured, you are close to get, and the football you need focus 100% to do the performance in the right way. Was very, very strange. But I remember, as I said before, with as a good experience, because maybe with my mental health in that moment, because I love football. I don't mind that the circumstances in that case was not so good, because it was a matter of the change the situation and look forward in a good way.
Yeah. Now, you started the season, you beat, who's it? Was it Salamina? And then you beat Upper.
Salamina.
So you got 2 good wins, especially beating Upper 3-0. 2
yeah.
good wins. And then you draw against Karmiodissa. Okay.
Yeah.
They were a difficult team at the beginning of the season. I remember my team, Omonia, just about beat them 1-0. So they had something about them. And then you played Omonia. And look, I remember that game because look, that was the beginning of the season.
You have a lot of memory, eh? You remember that game?
that year, I remember. Kiko scored the free kick from the touchline. Johnny's gave the assist to. No, it was Johnny's that scored the goal. I think it was.
Go straight. They go straight. Our goalkeeper go in the air. They fail.
Tonio, wasn't it?
Tonio, yeah, and the ball goes straight to the far post.
Yeah. That's right, because Duris was challenging him. So and with that game, it was significant for me as an Omonia fan, because a lot of changes were made. Venizelos played at centre back. A lot of young players were played, but that was your final game. Now, for me, I'm thinking, okay, it wasn't a bad performance. In fact, you were quite unlucky, in all fairness. It was just that free kick that evaded the goalkeeper, but you played well. So 2 wins, a draw and a loss, was that enough for any coach to go? It didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense. So can you tell me more about this? Because it was weird. It was strange. Really strange.
No, to be honest, not strange for me. And because when you are a coach, it's not a matter of tactic issues. Many times it's a matter of many things that you are in charge. I don't know why, because maybe for my character, I don't act in the right way in that moment in terms of the to kill calm. I really focus just in the tactic issues. In my mind at that time was for me the most important is to win the games. And I wasn't really care about to take care of the many things that are surrounding football. And in this case, where the relationship with the sport diet is not so good, and the things are not so good behind the scenes, and maybe that is the reason why they take advantage of this defeat to sack me. But I am not regret, because maybe I am involved in this. I feel not so good about it, because I didn't act in this very good. Because you had to be many times, you had to be, let's say, more polite. But for me, it was a pity, because at that time I remember a very good relationship with the president, with the males, but I don't know why. This is football. What you see or what you watch on TV is just the football games in terms of the image, but behind all of this there are many things, and that's why the rule of the coaches and more nowadays is not so easy. Because I remember one day from the beginning I start with my worries about football. I think for myself that it was a matter for sure to be in charge for putting in practice your ideas about football. But when you became a coach, you realize that to be a football coach is more things. And many times it's a matter not just a tactic issue, that is the most important. Well, not the most important. One of the most important is about many things. But was a very big lesson for me, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot in Cyprus in many issues. Start for this and for many others, but I don't complain with anyone, because it was a matter of me. This is the truth.
Do you think, because I see this a lot in Cyprus, where you have almost like a power struggle between the head coach and the sporting director? Was it a similar situation for you, or was it maybe something that you could have could have done a little bit different? Was there anything you could turn around and say to yourself, I should have done that a little bit different? Maybe I could have handled that situation better.
Yeah, I understand this question, because it's very complicated issue, because it's normal nowadays with the figure of the sport director. Many times there are two roles at the same time. It doesn't mean like the club. The club is the first, and if the club decides to have a guy involved in charge of doing everything in terms of the sport issues, is right. But when you say that a coach and the dependency of this coach has one mentality, has one map to do the things, and many times is this your map and the map of the club, in this case of the map of the sport director, don't match. It's difficult to work every day, because if not, it is a matter to stay, and it's not a matter to work in the good way, in the way you understand that is the best way to achieve your target. Because it's like a politician, because in the good way, in the one way, the coach is a politician. Many times in terms of the take more time in order to have more gains, to show your skills in the squad, you need time. But many times the way to save time is to be a politician, because if not, it's it's not a matter. I have to do this because I have to do this, because me as a coach, I am not the ruler. I am not the guy that's a quicker. I know the rules, the football, and we have to do this because if not, we don't win the game. It's not that. The coaches will depend a lot for the players, and the players depends of the many times of the scout of the club, of the sport director. Because for me, unlike the other guys, I am not the guy who likes to go to the one team and to sign the players I like. No, I prefer to train the player that the club consider that is the best player for them, because they know better than me. They know better than me that the club works. And me, yes, it's clear. As opinion, I have put my opinion on the table, because I am, I think, one part, very important part of the club. But no, in terms of I go to the club, me as a chief, one guy is above all. I am acting as a god. No, that's the football is amazing. It's amazing because you never know, and you never know is like change a lot of the things during the game, during the. It's amazing. Maybe the reason why maybe we are talking here, both, because we love this sport, because nobody knows the key, the rules they are behind. Nobody.
Well, this is the thing. When you're involved in football, obviously you're going to learn a lot more than just the average football fan. So there are times where I can be with friends that have just normal jobs, and they start talking about football, and I say to them, I don't want to hear it because I know too much. And this is the problem. Then you become out of love with the football. But I'm sidestepping here. But there's another question I want to ask about sporting directors. Now, I can see how sporting directors work in various nations, in La Liga, in Premier League, even in MLS. But in Cyprus and perhaps in other parts of Europe, the sporting director role isn't transparent. So one sporting director at this club might be in charge of everything from youth development to the structure of the club, finances. Then this sporting director might just be about transfers. That's all they do. Then this sporting director is in charge of transfers, maybe speaking to agents, and maybe even selecting the team when the coach isn't doing well, or he makes substitutions for the coach, because it happens. I've seen it happen in Cyprus. So how do you look at clubs in Cyprus and say, this club is doing really well with their structure, that club is doing well, but...
No. Yes, I understand you. I don't think that is a matter of Cyprus. It's a matter, it's general. Maybe in Cyprus with their unique circumstances because of Cyprus, because Cyprus is different than other countries in the world. I think like it's the club, the institutions, the club as an institution. The club has the rules. I am not the guy involved into just if the club is doing the good things, the bad things. If I have the opportunity to choose between one thing to another thing in order to go or not to go, it's good for me as a head coach. But once you decide, go inside, you have to adapt to the rules of the club. For me, the club is the first one. It's the first one. It's not... and after you are involved, as you said, if not everybody in the club is involved in the same way, many times it's not a matter of winning, because it's something contrary to it. In terms of many times, it's very strange. For many people in the club, it's better to lose the game than to win the game. Why? Because if you are a coach and you are winning the games, but many people involved in the club are not... don't agree with many things that you do in the training season, the way you perform, the way that, because they are not happy, because and no matter the team won the last game, because they prefer to establish their way of doing. That's why it's very important when you sign one coach. to at least to match in the most important things, in tactic issues, in the way of life, in the way of living, maybe. In the way, you know this from the beginning, when you met for the first time, one sport director, the president of the club, and you have a dinner with them, depends of the feeling you feel on the table, talking about no matter the issues, no tactic issues, no football issues, about the many things, you know that is connection or no connection. The same like when you are in the dressing room for the first time, when you see the faces of the players, and you go to the training ground, and you start the season. In the first day, you feel, I don't know why, you feel like there is something good here, or the opposite. And many times when this is the opposite, you need to take time for yourself in order to change things. I don't know, you don't know why, but you have to take time in order this. But it's not easy. The question that you are asking me is not easy to answer.
I never ask easy questions. It wouldn't be fun.
No, yeah, because it's very difficult. It's very difficult. That is, for me, it's nowadays I think like the name of the head coach is like is the head coach is like the guy who is involved in football. He knows all the rules about football. Oh, what the guy, maybe this guy has in his head many things that maybe I'm not as a simple supporter, and this is not the case. In football, the most important is the players, and maybe the head coach is one guy that maybe for his skills he knows many things about the people, and in this case the football players. Why? Because his experience, because it's not the things in my mind, because I saw many games during my life, and when I saw many things in the football game, I remember the things like I saw before, and that's why this is the experience is important. But the way, like as I said before, my map, the way I working. Maybe my skills is like I understand this is maybe it's not so comfortable for the others when I go in one team. Maybe I push a lot from the beginning in terms of I like this. You have to do this. We have to do this, and many times we have to be more flexible in order to be more polite, maybe.
yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is, you came to AEK, and there were a lot of Spanish players there, and there were some experienced ones as well, like Miguel Gonzalez and Toño and Acoran. I'm guessing it was, I wouldn't say easy, but it was more comfortable for you to deal with players that speak the same language. No,
really, no.
It didn't make a difference.
No. I don't think the reason why they design Spanish coaches because at that time they have a lot of Spanish players on the team.
No, but what I'm talking about is in terms of your
but in terms,
to the club.
No. Why not? Because it's clear. The English is not my natural language, and it's normal. This conversation is normal. Maybe I need to say some things, and it's very impossible for me to say using the English language because I am not English people. Maybe, but the football is not a matter just of the language. It's another language, the football. When you are coaching, the language many times is when they are in the training season, the kind of pass, his aptitude, his many things. This is the language, and with this language, you take the information to make decisions after. It's not a matter of because many times we spend a lot of time to talks with the players, and the players, what they want, the players want is to play. It's not a matter of conversation all the time. I don't like so much when you are not in the good shape. Many times from the clubs, they push you in order to, you have to hold meetings with the players, to
Yeah.
talks, because it's not possible. We have to talk. We have to convince this guy. I think the opposite. Many times he's trying to take advantage of the training season in order to take the best from the players, because this environment is the environment that the players recognize and then they feel comfortable in order for you to take the best from them. When you are in another scenario, in another environment, in the closed room, it's like when you are in the prison, to say to the other, maybe you are doing something wrong. I am the teacher. I am asking you something. You have to do this. You have to do. Yes, it's not a matter of you have to do this and not to have to do this. You have to keep balance between this situation. But that is the reason why many people go to train in countries around the world. They don't speak the language, and they can rule the team. It doesn't mean that the language is not important. No, the language is very important. I remember Emily, his first time in England coaching Arsenal. I remember one journalist at the end of his career in the Arsenal put on the table that maybe Emery has many problems because he has not is not comfortable speaking English. I say to you, it's not the most important. It's very important, yes, but it's not the most important. No, for me, no. The important, you have to know like a monkey. You go to the club, if you don't speak any word, it's impossible to communicate with the others. But with the simple words, and many times in the simple words involving football issues, is easier than if you have to talk about business.
I think with Emery's situation, it was an easy thing to say. Oh, it's the language. It wasn't the language. That squad had a lot of bad people in it. A lot of players that had egos and had the wrong attitude and the wrong mentality. It was never the language. But obviously, the British media, they want to make it sound like it was the language that was a problem. It's got nothing to do with that. When you got Ozil and Aubameyang and all these other players that were behaving in a certain no. I don't.
It's clear.
Yeah.
I rather still.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that AEK squad very quickly, because you had, as I mentioned, a lot of experienced players. But my friend TAULEMESSE is there. TANDI. Two of my friends were there. But Trzaskowski, now this player, I don't think he gets the credit.
TANDI is a very good guy. TANDI, that is a very good guy. He make the effort from the beginning until the last moment. He gets starting doing the things better than in the beginning, because his way of playing is. I don't know, because maybe at that time he was very, very young. Maybe I think that he played in Doxa, no? last season.
Doxa last season, yep.
But the most important for this guy, that is very important in the dressing room, you have at least 2 or 3 guys like. Because he's behave. He's it's like Lucero in Paralimni. The players that you take these players as an example for the others, not intends to rule and to say to the other, look, if you behave like Lucero or like TANDI, you are a good guy. If not, no, it's not a matter of this. You have to respect to each one with his skills, with his characters, because everyone is different, and that's why it's very important for the coaches, and it's so special to train football, because you have to manage many different characters. And in terms of what you are telling me about Trzaskowski, Trzaskowski is a kind of player, you imagine, when they made Trzaskowski for the first time, he arrived to Cyprus, you never know what is the future is departure is. But Trzaskowski is you don't know why his skills. It's like the football Cyprus is made for him. From the because I remember that maybe he started in Paralimni, no? He started in Paralimni or Nakana. He played for the first time here in Cyprus. He was
He was at
Loan
Paralimni,
back from Apoel,
yeah.
no?
Yeah,
Maybe.
He went to Paralimni and then he went to Apoel. Yeah.
And he succeeded. Why? Because he did the things that is very important in football: to have one time in front who score goals. And this, when you don't have this, you miss a lot. And in this case, I remember in AEK was his top player, because at that time AEK is not the squad with the quality that they have nowadays. But the difference, Tichoki makes the difference in this team, in order that no matter the ball, he received the ball, he was able to turn, to face the goal, to see easier than the others the goal, and was amazing player. And to share with him my stage in AEK was amazing, because I realized that is the kind of player that you have to take as an example in order for the scouting to another players to maybe to imitate some skills of Tchaikovsky, because it's but at the same time it's very difficult to sign players like Tchaikovsky, because you never know. That's why it's very difficult to sign players, because you sign players from the another leagues and you never know how these players perform in the Cyprus league, because unlike the other people, I think to play in the good way, if you are a foreigner player in Cyprus, it's not easy, because you are playing maybe in the first division in Spain. Maybe I am exaggerate a little, but in the second division in Spain, to succeed in Cyprus, you have to be a very, very good player in the second division in Spain. If not, you are in problem. You have problems, because the Cyprus league, like many leagues in the world, when you are from away, you need to know better than the others the rules of the football. And many times these clubs sign, instead of players that they know how to play, they sign players like this guy is fast, is tall, is tight. It's not a matter of this. It's a matter of how to play, because as a universal language, the football has some rules that everybody recognize, and you have to put your eyes in this kind of skill when you are in the scouting. But yes, Tchaikovsky, I don't remember the TAULEMESSE, yes, Florin. Florin. I don't. Well, I remember all of them. Mikel Gonzalez is amazing, another amazing player in order to behave in the dressing room. All the players I love, because I love so much. I love to train the most, maybe. I never complain about the players, because I know how difficult it is to play football. It's very difficult. It's easy when you see a player like, for example, Lamine Yamal, and you see this guy play football, and you see, how is this? It's refreshing, because this guy play like Garrincha, the guy who played from Brazil in the 40s, in the 50s. It's incredible. The guy, how is this guy? This guy was maybe hiding. This is football. This is like to train this kind of players is not to enjoy for them. To enjoy with them is not to say to rule them, because the football is in their feet. It's in their feet.
Yep, that's right. 100%. 100%. Yeah. Well, look, I know you spent maybe 2 or 3 years not working as a head coach, and then Paralimni came along. Now, again, this is your record there was probably better than AEK. Was it 19 games, 11 wins, 4 draws, and only 4 defeats? You got them up to near the top of the table. What? Okay, let's go into your experience at Paralimni first. What was that like for you? Second division team, a very competitive league as well. You got Omonia Gosenia, you got Omonia Radipu, obviously Olympiago, Paralimni, and then the other teams like Dingeni Zipsona and all that kind of stuff. So, what was that like for you coaching? Paralimni are a fairly big club. If you want to talk about,
many times is in the environment of the coaches. Many times is because it's the team that called me. That's why I go to Paralimni to train. I love train And Paralimni was the only team that called me for going there to train. That's the reason why. It's not another reason. And for me, it was a very surprise. Because I learned maybe more than in the latest class for me. More. Because it's not easy to train in the second division in Cyprus. I know something before going there, because when I was coaching AEK, we faced with the second division Cyprus teams, and we know something about the teams from the bottom in the first division that is similar that the teams who play in the second division on the top. But when you are living this in the real time, you realize how difficult it is. But at the same time, because there was many problems, because of this, I learned a lot as a head coach. A lot. I no shouting anytime. I keep calm anytime. I realize how important it is to be calm, to manage all the situations. I think it was for the first time that I feel for myself that my level as a coach increased. And you imagine, it seems like contradictory. I have to stay in one division, like maybe it's a division that everybody can go out as soon as possible, when I learn more in football, more than staying in Valencia, Las Palmas, in Mexico, in the big things, maybe more. Maybe for the difficulties involved in these teams and in the division itself. Because it's not easy because of the pitches, because of the financial problems, the players, the squads are not equals, many things, like many problems. And when you are a coach, it's not like I go in advance with the rules from my house. I am go there to Paralimni to put in practice my ideas. No, what's the opposite? I go to Paralimni with my experience, with my mind, in order to see what happened over there and try to solve the problems that appears in all the moments. In all the moments. But I really appreciate, and I never mind. I am no regret what they sacked me at the end in the not good way, because for me, I have nothing to complain about anyone. Why? Because I feel like I did the best in order, like I increased my level as head coach. In my mind is not to complain about that, how the Paralimni works as a club. Paralimni works as a club, whatever they want, because it's their club. It's not my club. And just to say for them to appreciate, because they once who gave me the opportunity to coach and restart my career as a head coach. And that's why I really love with the people in Paralimni, with the sport diet. I enjoy a lot with him, with the president, and with the others. No complaints.
Amigo, but wasn't there a problem in February with an investor that was in trouble and the police were looking for him?
It happens over there because we had a lot of financial problems. And that's why
most clubs do, to be honest.
Most clubs, they find one guy who is maybe he has the treasure in his pocket. Oh, we will see that we have the luck to take this guy who with us, and we solve all our financial problems. And it was a tricky, but that is the food. It's another issue. Me, I forget about this because I love and enjoy a lot, and this issue I forget about it.
But this is it, because look, you know that we do this podcast in English, so we talk about Cypriot football, and there have been many times where footballers in Cyprus who obviously don't speak Greek will contact us and say, "I watched your podcast. I didn't know this happened. The club doesn't say anything to us." So as a coach, obviously you see the club, you speak to the sporting director, the president, whoever it is. But how much information are you or other coaches given about things like that with the investor? Because, as I said, the players don't know what happens. I sometimes have to explain to the players
No,
What
the
do
players
you
know everything. The players
Yeah.
know everything. The players are the smartest guys. The
Ah.
players know everything. But many times it's like me when you are asking me about how you are in coaching in Paralimni. It's because Paralimni was the only one who called me for training, and that the players is the same. The players have the choice to choose one thing to another thing. Maybe they choose that they understand that is the better one for them. But in this case, it's like you love to train because maybe it's your job, it's your main job. Is that you have to
Yeah.
stay there and you play because in the future nobody never know about the future. You think about it, maybe maybe the future solves the problems and I am going to be lucky and maybe I succeed over there. And this is the problem many times when you are succeeding many things. It's a matter of luck in terms of the just what you are talking about. To go in one place where the no financial problems, the players are the right ones because they are in their best shape. This is the things, the most important thing when you are coaching. I mean, this is a matter of lucky. When you have the lucky, not the lucky in terms of the football is a matter of luck. No, I am not talking about this. It's about a matter of the environment. It's not the same to go to an environment. The Barcelona, for example, nowadays, that the environment when the Messi play there is not the same environment for the coaches in this case. But the same in Cyprus and in all the places around the world. You have to be like in this case. But many cases you don't have the chance to choose the way or to choose the team for training, and that's why you have to go to, because it's your way of doing for a living. You have to go there, and many times is just in my case in Paralimni was amazing. You imagine like one club from the second division in Cyprus call me and I decide to don't go over there. But I may grow in this case. Why? Because I learn a lot in Paralimni with the problems involved in the normal thing in the second division in Cyprus. No normal thing in Paralimni because the extra problem, the extra pressure was that this thing is like obligated to go to promote to the first division.
Yeah,
and this is exciting. This is exciting for me.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing, because I know someone that used to work for Olympiacos, and I was talking to him near the end of last season, and he said we have to play Omonia Aradipo, and if we don't win this game, it could be the whole club could be finished, not just the season, but the club could be finished. So
it's incredible. You feel
the pressure is a different level.
Good.
Different
Good talk,
level.
Estelle. It is clear. In Paralimni, the main issue was 100% this, what you are talking about now. Paralimni under pressure last season. This pressure from the people, from the office, the pressure that they are in their heads, in their minds, was something incredible. I never seen this in my life. And why? What was it? Not the big problem. The big problem is for me as a coach, because this pressure, maybe they didn't realize, but they pressure sent to the players. Send to the players this pressure in order, hey, you have to win, because if not win, it seems like maybe if we don't win one game, it's like we are about to die if we don't win one. When we start, we stay, I don't remember, 7 games in a row, winning the games in a row. When we lost our first game, I remember when they changed their minds. Why? For this pressure. You imagine, we came from 7 games in a row winning, and we lost 1 game, and the environment, in terms of yes, in the times in the office, they changed their mind. Why? Because of their pressure. This pressure. It's not a matter. Oh, these guys are silly guys. No. The pressure, and this is like many times that's important. The institution, the club, how the club is organized in order to keep the regular situation, what happen things like to lose 1 game. That is normal to lose 1 game. When you lose 1 game, is normal. But I don't know why over there is more of the the people involved or in Paralimni, they were or a lot of pressure under their heads.
The thing is, David, when the club released the statement to announce that you'd left, they said it was a mutual termination. So it was you and the club were happy to say, thank you, let's go our separate ways. But it was a strange one for me because, again, you're near the top of the table.
Yeah, no, see, yeah. Maybe at the end of the season, no matter that we promote or not, maybe I was ending my relationship with them over there, maybe.
Really?
But they sack me. They sack me. It's not a mutual. It's not a mutual.
But did you see the statement? Did you see the statement that they released?
Yes. No, I agree with this statement because I signed this statement because at that time I didn't want to make a struggle in order to destabilize the team because because I love the players. I love the players. And that's why I said before that I learned a lot from Paralimni. I take these things from there. I not take the money from there. I take regrets for them. No. If they decide because the reason they have the reasons why, I don't know why, but they decide to sack me, okay. No problem. In my mind, maybe it's not to continue over there, but if you decide in advance to sack me, they say for the people that this is mutual and that's it. But it's not real. It's clear. It's not clear. I am not the guy who left from the ship in the last moment. It's not clear. But
well, look, if you left the ship when the club was, if the club was in mid-table or in Group B, I could understand. But you're nearly promoted. There was what, 2 games to go, maybe 2 games after. Was it?
No,
I think it was because you drew with Omonia at 29.
No, maybe still in their minds, maybe. When they realize that the team is was in the first division, they start to think about in the new season in the first division, and for the reason that I don't know, they decide to put in as a head coach another guy because I think for the circumstances of the club. This is because many times, as I said before, the head coach is one guy who is ruling take the tools that you have in your hands when you are involved in one club, and this is your job. That is your job. But above you, there are another guys that may be thinking another things, and this is the guys who really rule the thing. It's not one matter. That's why I make wrong if I say, how is possible this guy sack me? No, this is football. No problem. For me, the most important is nowadays, I take my flight ticket. Yeah. I go to Cyprus. I can go over there to shake hands with all of them, with the people who spend my time over there without any problem. Why? Because for me, I did my job. They allowed me to work in the good club in very good conditions and to restart my career as a head coach. And above all, I learned a lot from one experience that I never know that exists this kind of experience, and that's it. It's perfect. I love. It's strange for the people outside, but it's like in the football. You never know how many things happen behind the scenes in football. Many things. And when you are watching one game, the guy who knows many things about football, he knows the rules. When they were watching the game in the real football game, they know many things. They don't know just the passes, pa. When you are watching one thing, you see the feelings, the players. When the players are playing in the good way, you know that behind these scenes, the things are really good. When the one thing is like playing like with the breaks, stop with the faces. You see the faces of the players when they love the way they are playing. That you see, and the supporters from the stand the same. This is the most important. This is not a matter to the football to see how many passes this team do. No, it's the way of doing these passes. This pass, the other. You see this. The players are happy. And that is for me the most important, to take the problems out, go to the training seasons, and try to take the best from the players. You know that many times it's very difficult, because it's many times it's very difficult to split these two things are involved to each other, and that's why many times coaching is very difficult.
For sure. Well, look, there's three players I want to ask you about at Paralimni. There's my friend ALEKS VUCENOVIC. He came in January, I think. Was it January?
Oh,
end of
I didn't
January?
know that VUCENOVIC. I didn't know that VUCENOVIC is a very friend of you. Hey, nice question. This.
He's a good guy. He's a very good guy, and he scores goals.
Amazing guy. Amazing guy.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Yeah. Good. I didn't expect someone said.
Amigo, I know a lot of people.
Ask me something about VUCENOVIC, because you know that VUCENOVIC didn't play so much with me. VUCENOVIC, the sport director, George Cosmas, signed VUCENOVIC because he remembers him from the last season in the first division, and he spoke very highly of the VUCENOVIC, Cosmas, and we signed him because we were worried about our top score goals. Caralambus maybe get injured.
Oh, injured. Okay.
When we didn't have any players to replace him, and that's the reason why we signed ALEKS VUCENOVIC. But at the same time, I knew that at that time when we signed VUCENOVIC, we have maybe problems. Why? Because when you are make a team is not easy. One thing is to have very good players in the squad. Yeah. Another thing is to make a team. Yeah. When you have the key, many times you never know, but you see in front of your face when you are in the training seasons, in the games. The games is the key. The games give you the information to make the decisions when you are coaching. And for me was I have cream. Yeah, when I lose the game against Ayanapa, I remember this game. Caralambus was out because of the yellow cards. Yeah. And I changed for the first time the way of playing. I didn't like the perform at that time, anything. At the end of the game, I saw in the faces of the players like what happened over there? Why the coach changed many things? Maybe they didn't realize that the first one I realized of this was me. But this is the big lesson for me. For this moment until the end, many things is like sacred things. You have to do this. Why? Because when you are coaching in an equal squad, if you take one piece to put another piece, it's not it's player for another player. No, it's not player for another player. In terms of quantity, yes, it's just one. It's in terms of the skills that are good for the team.
Yeah.
And in this case, I feel for myself, VUCENOVIC to fit nowadays in Paralimni, for the way of playing of Paralimni, to put or to fit in the way of playing of Paralimni, difficult. And that's why he behaved. Well, in the good way, no. More than the good way. In the dressing room, he makes really effort in the training seasons. When he has the chance to go for playing in the games, he did his best. But no matter that good words about him. But was the case. No fit, because this is the magic of the football. Many times because it's not a matter of Messi. Messi changed the rules. But VUCENOVIC is a specific player. And you need to play in one way for VUCENOVIC to take advantage of the rest of the players. But in this case, when we signed VUCENOVIC, the team, we made a team before. We have the team with their rules, with their own rules of playing. They know in advance what his mate is going to be, is going to happen, and many things. It's many difficult, but I feel sorry for him because it was not easy for him, because you imagine in the winter window sign one player, maybe the club pay him more than the others, and he stay from the bench maybe all the games. It's not easy for him. It's not easy for him, and maybe for the club also, because the clubs say, oh, we make a big effort with this sign, and now he's on the bench. But in this case, me as a coach, this is like another plane. Me as a coach, I had to make a decision to how to do, to change the rules and maybe don't promote.
Yeah.
Oh, continue with the same.
You can't change your system to accommodate one player, especially if things are going well. And I get it, I understand it. But Alex is a professional, so he would have understood it as well. There's no doubt about that whatsoever.
I think so, yeah.
Whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, look, I've got maybe two more questions, but this first question, I want to take you back to your time at Valencia, right?
Yeah.
Because you came in as assistant, right, to Paco, right?
Yeah.
Paco, right? Now,
Paco,
yeah, but that was after Gary Neville.
After
Gary Neville, yeah, and Gary Neville, look, in England, I know he's doing well as a reporter and he's on the television, but even Gary Neville said this job was too big for him. Valencia was too big for him. He got smashed by Barcelona, and you guys beat Barcelona at the Camp Nou, right?
Yeah.
So, can you describe what the atmosphere around the club was like when you guys came in? Because obviously Gary Neville was there and he got a lot of criticism, and obviously the president was his friend as well, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
So what was that like for you guys to come in? And was it a mess? Was it as bad as what people made it out to be? How did he leave the club? Did the players say much about him?
No, the opposite. It's a very big chance. It's not new. Paco Ayestarán was assistant coach with Rafa Benitez in the period when Valencia was a seat.
Yeah.
In the last period, Valencia won the title in Spain.
La Liga. Yeah.
Two times in a row. They won the champions, the Europe League.
But didn't they get to the Champions League final as well?
Yeah.
With Mendieta.
No, after Mendieta. The Cup, no. After Mendieta. After Valencia, they go together, Benitez and Paco Ayestarán, to Liverpool. They won the champion. They were very succeed. And for the Paco Ayestarán, when he decided to become a head coach, we start in Mexico, in the second division in Mexico, in the Pachuca group. One team that nowadays is over. Teco's name.
Right.
After this, we train Maccabi. And after Maccabi, amazing place for training, Maccabi Tel Aviv. We won all the titles involved in that season. And after Maccabi, we went Mexico again to train in Santos Laguna, that is a GM over there. And after this, we stayed for a short period of time thinking about what to do next. And suddenly, because Paco Ayestarán, in the meantime, he's out of the football, he spent his time in the Sky News from Spanish football in the Sky News. And he met Gary Neville. Why? Because Ayestarán was coaching of the Carragher in Liverpool. And Carragher was, he was one good battle with Gary Neville on TV, no? Funny battles. And that's why when Gary Neville was in trouble in Valencia, he called to Carragher in order to say to Carragher, look, you can call Paco Ayestarán in order to help me here in Valencia, because he was many experience here in Valencia, and me, I am a little trouble to manage because of the language, because many things. And Paco Ayestarán, no matter that at that time he was a head coach, he decided to go as an assistant coach in order to help Gary Neville. For the things that happened in football, Gary Neville was sacked, and Paco Ayestarán took over the team. And because me at that time was his assistant coach, I went over there to join him in Valencia. But when we had this opportunity, for us was a very big chance, because I remember Paco yesterday, maybe 3 years ago, in his mind, because his character in his mind was to be in the good team in the future. And I say, for me, in a short period of time, we are in the very good team. We are a very lucky guys. And in the beginning, we start very, very good. We beat Barcelona, and we start very good. They renew the contract for the next season, but in the next season, we lost 4 games in a row, and they decide to sack us. And we continue our career in Pachuca again, in Mexico, in Las Palmas, in the first division in Spain, until I decide to take my road as a head coach. We keep very good relationships, because he's a very friend of mine. That's the reason why I joined with him in his career as a head coach. Now he's coaching as assistant coach in NEYMAR with Emery in Aston Villa. And we enjoy a lot in Valencia, because in Valencia, when you realize first, when you are coaching at teams like Valencia, it's like the football is very simple in the daily day. Then maybe when you are young, you think like, you are dreaming like maybe to become a professional player in the first division in your country. And you think maybe the things over there is like, wow, it's maybe to go to the Naxa, very complicated thing, how to do that. No, it's the opposite. The strange things happen for me in the lowest things. In the highest things, the things are not normal. In the daily days, normal people, normal behaviors, it's everything normal. That is the lesson that you take from this kind of clubs. That why? You know why? I think that's why, because the players involved in these teams are the very high players, high top players. And these players play football, are not making excuses for doing this, for that. No. Are players that play football, after football, very professional players, no excuses. That is clear. They are worried about it not to play, because this is their life. But the daily day for me, for the staff, for the guys who are involved in the first division, in the top first division team, is the clear example is in the daily, you spend the daily day normally. The daily day in Paralimni is not normal. It's very hard, harder than in Valencia. Another thing like another thing is like the repercussion of the because of the population, because Valencia is like, to coach Valencia, no? If I coach in Valencia, and in Valencia is playing Parejo, André Gomez, Joao Cancelo, Alves, I prefer to coach Valencia.
Okay, well, you had Negredo in that team as well, who is a good striker.
Negredo, many players, many quality players. For me as a coach, it's better to train in Valencia. What is a matter of you are under pressure? For me, it's not pressure, this. The pressure is to go to Paralimni and to take this bull in front of your eyes, and to keep calm, to try to get to the end in the good way, not to destroy everything. And that is the lesson that I take.
But the pressure is going to be different. It's going to be different. It's going to be big at both clubs, but it's going to be different, because Valencia, they're an established La Liga side, and you've got Paralimni in Division 2 that they need to get promoted. Otherwise, finito. Dead.
Finito.
Dead.
Yeah.
So
no, at that time,
you
remember was good in Valencia, because when we took over the team, was in trouble. If we lose the game, our first game, we lose in Las Palmas, 2-1. I remember. We at that time, with this lose, we have in the table 3 points or 4 points. I remember 3 or 4 points at both of the bottom. We play against Sevilla of the Nine Emery at that time, we coached, and we won this game 2-1. If this game, instead of winning the game, we lost the game, big problems from the club in terms of the relegation. The pressure over there was, imagine, before starting this game against Sevilla, the street, when we got over there with the bus, the street is like from the media, they announced to the people, hey, this is the very important play, very important game for the team. We have we need for you the support. And from the beginning, in 1 hour and a half in the stadium, out of the stadium on the street, I don't know how many people over there waiting for the team to come, and a big atmosphere. And for that time, we won the game. One thing that's happening in football, when you won one game, you are close to win the next one. But happened this because we faced against Barcelona next game, we beat them. The next one against Eibar, beat again Eibar. But we lose the last 2 games, I think, until the end of this season. They renewed the contract, and because of many reasons, when we lose 4 games in a row, and they decide to sack us because it's normal. Too much game losing, and it's not for a club like Valencia.
But David, you guys did one thing that many teams didn't do, and beat a Barcelona team when they had MLS. You know, they had the Messi. It was MSN. Sorry, MSN. Messi, Suarez, Neymar. You know, you that team was special, very special.
Yeah, they got angry when they lose the game. I remember Luis Enrique at that time. They finished the game. They said, "Oh, this result was very unfair because we missed a lot of chances because it's football." I remember for that time that it's important for the coaches to be calm in order to know how to lose the games, because at the end you are going to lose one game, and you have to keep your personality and the way, because it's not a matter of to say this is unfair. This is not, because it's football. If you win the game, you win because you deserve to win the game. Because if not, it's not a present.
How do you prepare? How do you prepare? I mean, obviously, it's not just those 3 players. There was Rakitic, there was Iniesta, Busquets, and obviously you had Piqué, Mascherano, Alaba, the left back. How do you prepare against a team like? Because they destroyed everyone. So how do you prepare?
Yeah, how do you prepare? We have at that time Valencia very good players also.
No, of course.
Maybe not in the same level. No, compared with Messi, compared with Xavi, Iniesta. This is unique players, but no unique players in Barcelona, in Spain, in the world. That is the reason why Spain won the champ.
The aliens.
The aliens. Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Messi, Piqué. These players, I don't know why, appears in one time in the history, and if you are, as a country, they're lucky to have these players in your squad, maybe you are close to win the games. And it happened this in Spain. They start with Cruyff. Cruyff changed the mind in Spain. Changed the mind. And that is in regarding what your question. Cruyff changed the mind in Spain.
But did he change it when he was a player, or when he became coach of Barcelona?
When he became coach. He became coach, changed the mind in Spain. Changed the mind of understand the play. Changed many things. This is the first one. Not Guardiola. Guardiola for sure. But the main is Cruyff. Second one, maybe Luis Aragonés. Why? Not because Luis Aragonés was a guy who, in his mind, was a very tactic issues. No, because he has the balls. I'm so sorry to say these words.
No,
but I think that is allowed to say these words.
Cojones.
Cojones. Has the cojones to say to Raúl at that time, Raúl, finish, over. This decision maybe nowadays has to make this decision in Portugal with Cristiano Ronaldo. But nobody is able to say these things to Ronaldo nowadays in Portugal. But in Spain, one guy with names Luis Aragonés decided to say, make the decision, Raúl, your time in the national team is over. From that moment, appears in the football Guardiola with the ideas of Cruyff, of Cruyff and his ideas, his own ideas, start with when you see these games, when you see how happened here. The issue was that the football changed in order what to do with the ball. Before this, the ball is like one is maybe many times it's better to kick the ball and this is far away from me is better. From that time, we realized that one good way to defend is to take the ball in your feet. And with this idea, if you have the ball in your feet and you don't lose the ball in the bad way, you have more chances for attacking them better than if you are kicking the ball far away from you in order to take the ball far from your own goal, and these kind of things. This change the mentality of the guys, the coaches, of the players, and your view about the players in terms of the scouting changed a lot, because you see for the first time like Iniesta is a short guy, can be a very good player, and you see because it means like before Cruyff in Spain, there was not a player like Iniesta. Yes, maybe yes. But the guys who involved in football at that time, and maybe think happened the same in England. Maybe they thought like, no, if you are short, like Iniesta, you are not fast, you are not tall, you are not a guy who can play football in the good way. From that moment, change the mind and appears players like, imagine Silva, Cazorla, Xavi, Iniesta. This is
Mata,
50.
even Juan Mata.
Many. Incredible. It means like this became something like now is a matter to keep the ball. I think that after this period, many people involved in football didn't understand what really happened at that time. This is not a matter Guardiola. Guardiola loves to keep the ball, to do passes for doing passes. No. It's the opposite. Guardiola keep the control of the ball in order to not allow to the opponent to do counterattacks. This is his mind. His mind is like maybe the defensive mind. It's not like an attacking mind, because you are attacking and the opposite team is steal the ball all the time and doing counterattacks all the time. You are attacking very bad, and you are not playing good, because it's one way of playing, and that's why it changed the mind in the football. And nowadays, even in England, they start playing not in the same way, but change the football in.
Yeah, but David, I think the problem with football in England is that it's too robotic, it's too systemic.
Too robotic. Yeah.
You know, I look at the national team. Okay, England. Okay, they didn't have a good group stage, but they got through. They got past Slovakia, and then they played Switzerland. And I said to my friend, because my friend Steve, he was academy coach at Manchester City before Guardiola, so he coached Kieran Trippier, Daniel Sturridge, so he was in the youth academy. And I said to him, I look at this England squad and I see Bellingham, Foden, Palmer, Eze, Saka. These are street footballers. These are street footballers. They don't need a system. You say, here's the ball, do your thing.
You have the example with Real Madrid. With the system Real Madrid. What is the system in Real Madrid playing style? What is no system? Players. Players like Bellingham.
Valverde will be right wing. He'll go in the middle.
Valverde. No system. Well, your system. You have to organize the team. That's the reason why you train. You go to the training system to do something, but not the system in terms of we play good because we have this system. No, this is not the meaning. It depends on the players. Real Madrid, the key of Real Madrid is because the Real Madrid as a club, from the beginning, they sign the best players. They try to sign the best players. And in order to sign the best players, they take in their minds to sign a coach that with not the ego, with the ego to say, hey, if we play good, it's because of me. No. It's the one guy who enjoy to see how his players are playing. And in this case, it's like Ancelotti. Ancelotti is one guy who is out. He tried to disappear, make the protagonist from the players, and that is the reason why. But many times you are not playing a player like Real Madrid. You have you are coaching another teams, lowest teams, and that's why you understand that it's better to with these players that maybe they don't have the quality enough to play in another way, to try to avoid the mistakes that you know in advance that these players, because of their quality, they don't have. But you have this is why it's amazing to coach, because it's not a matter. For me, it's incredible when you are about to sign one club, one guy from this club, no matter that it's sport diet or another guy involved in the club, call you, and the first question is, how is your style in terms of the system?
Yeah.
This question, when you answer this question, you say, no, my style is 4-4-2. Maybe you say this because you know that the guy who is questioning you this kind of
wants
question
to play 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Wants to bring the players.
For me, make no sense. Make no sense. It's really, how is your system? It's not system. My system is
but David,
players.
a lot of things don't make sense. Okay, I'll give you an example. When I sometimes I used to speak to clubs and I say I have this player profile. They say send me the transfer marked, but I know transfer marked is bullshit because there are people in transfer marked that change things.
Yeah. I know.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. You know, still like when you are coaching and that's just amazing. That's why before in the beginning of the interview, I say that in the beginning, when you go for the first time to the training season, you see things like make you understand that the things are gonna be good here. Why? Because when you are in advance watching the games, maybe one thing is interesting of you, and you start watching videos, this thing, and you have an idea of the skills of these players. But when you really know something about these players is when you are involved with these players on the training season and above all in the games. Why? Because in Mexico happened this. One player that for me was something normally on the video. When I went for the first time to the training season, I see, wow, what is this? This guy is the key of the team. Why? Because there are many things involved in the football game. This is behind. It's not in front of your side, in your eye. Are behind. And that is the key. That is this profession is amazing. You have the many possibilities to read many things about football from this history, from social. I like the most to read history from the clubs in terms of football, because the history give you a lot of information from the clubs, the way they play in the past, they play the things happen in this club. That this is important. The history is very important also to coaching, because the things are not one institution is over there waiting for you and sees when you are coaching over there. No, you are one guy who is there training, and you know that with your luggage beside you, because you know that maybe in 2 weeks, if you lose one game, you are close to stay home.
Yeah, you start packing your bags.
Stay. That's why it's amazing, because you are under risks all the time.
Yeah,
I like. There's no problem.
Yeah. Well, David, look, thank you so much for your time. It's been incredible talking to you. I really look forward to seeing you back in the game. I'm pretty sure you'll be coaching again sometime soon. And hopefully we could do something again together on a podcast. It'd be great to talk about coaching. Maybe we can get some other coaches on and you guys can share your experiences. But it's been great talking to you.
Whatever you want. For me, it was amazing that this invitation for talking about football issues. For me, is always a lovely place to stay and to talk. And with a guy like you, because it seems like you are a very good guy. It's the first time I met you, I think. That's right. I thought. But I love your way. But maybe this is the reason why I said to talk with you.
Amigo, sometimes I can be a bastard. I'm just saying. I can be a bastard sometimes.
I like this. I like this because I like Omonia supporters because they are passion guys. Yes.
Well, my co-host supports Upwell. The guy that do the podcast with me does Upwell, but he's a good Upwell fan. He's a good Upwell fan. It's okay. And he supports Aston Villa as well. So he supports Aston Villa. So maybe he doesn't know that Paco. You worked with Paco, and now he's at Aston Villa. I don't know. Sorry, Paco, if you're watching.
asking. Okay. I hope to see you soon, and all the best for you.
Sure. For sure. Thank you very much. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, we are on we're on Twitter, we're on X at This Is Mappa. Are you on social media, David?
Yes, I am on social media, but I'm very bad.
Okay, don't worry. We'll talk about it another time. Great. So, well, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back very, very soon.